hope you are having a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Parker Nirenstein, and this is Vehicle Virgins. The reason I have missed a few days of posting, no, I'm not dead, is because I have traveled all the way out to Texas to visit Hennessey Performance and film some awesome reviews for you guys. This is my loaner car for the week. Finally, it's not a Toyota Prius, it's not a Volkswagen Beetle, it is a freaking Jeep Trackhawk. I've only driven it a little bit, but for the brief moment I've had the keys to this, it is absolutely ridiculous. So let's go head over to Hennessey and see what cars we're gonna be reviewing this week. They've given me the red key, thankfully, and that means 707 horsepower and 645 pound-feet of torque in an SUV. Nice little insignia on the steering wheel here. I will be doing a full in-depth review on the Trackhawk later in the week after I get some serious time behind the wheel of this so I can give you the most comprehensive video possible. So far, so good, however. Funny enough, this is actually my first time ever in Texas. I think one of the aspects that surprised me the most and impressed me the most with the Trackhawk, now obviously I'll go over everything in the review, one of which is the launch, but the sound. Listen to this. Like, are you serious? It does appear that bugs on your windscreen are a huge issue in Texas. Oh my God. Here we are, Lone Star Motorsports Park. This is the aftermath of driving to Hennessey. Look at all these bugs. Gonna show you guys around the shop and showroom. They've got some really cool stuff inside and outside as well. All of these GT350s. This one is twin turboed. That Mustang has 800 horsepower. The amount of horsepower that is just sitting around in this parking lot is utterly ridiculous. So now we are going to take a look at the drag strip they have that apparently I get pretty much full reign of. The vehicle we're gonna tour it in is a Mustang GT350, except it is twin turboed. I have never even seen a twin turbo GT350, and judging by the side, it looks like it has 1,000 horsepower. There's a Z28, but not a normal Z28. That one has 1,000 horsepower. ZL1 1LE. Now check out this lineup of Hellcats behind me. Every single one of these has 1,000 horsepower. As you can see by this official HPE 1000 badge, got a wide body one here. From the back, it's extremely hard to tell the difference between a wide body Hellcat and a Demon. I actually thought this was a Demon at first until I looked at the hood. The easiest way to tell from the front of a Hellcat whether it is indeed a Hellcat or a Demon is by looking at how many vents the hood has. So on the Hellcat, we've got 3 vents, but on the Demon, we've actually got 1 giant air intake. All right, let's head into the showroom, shall we? So behind me is the Hennessey Venom GT. This is actually the first time I have ever seen one of these in person, and it was until very recently when Koenigsegg broke it, the world's fastest car. They've actually got a plaque up there, 270.4 miles an hour. Seeing this in person, totally different than in pictures. The interior is actually surprisingly nice as well. Nice quilted leather on the dash, a bunch of carbon fiber. Then we have the latest version, the Hennessey Venom F5. This is gonna have 1,600 horsepower out of an 8-liter V8. Now this car is a Heritage Ford GT, and then we've got a 2005 or 2006 Ford GT next to that as well. We've got some special videos coming up. I'm not gonna tell you exactly what it is, but we're gonna be doing something with that Ford GT. That doesn't sound absolutely epic, even though it has a V6. We've brought the GT out to this open lot to get some slider shots for a review on the all-new Ford GT. I am so pumped about this, but they're about to actually run a 1,000 horsepower Trackhawk down the strip. We'll see how it does. So as if the 707 horsepower in the one I'm driving this week isn't enough, Motor Trend clocked 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds on a stock Trackhawk. Let's see what 1,000 horsepower looks like. That 5,300-pound SUV just ran a 10.7 in the quarter mile. For reference, that's as fast as a stock Lamborghini Huracan. According to the performance pages and the V-Box, this just ran a 2.8 second sprint to 60 miles an hour. 2.8 seconds in an SUV that can tow 7,000 pounds? Are you kidding me? And the cool part is the Performance Pages app inside the infotainment actually identically matched both the track 60-foot time as well as the one on the V-Box. That's pretty impressive and actually means that that information is useful for calculating quarter mile times, 0 to 60 times. I've now got all my equipment lined up and the keys to the Ford GT. These are actually pretty interesting looking. I've never seen a Ford key quite like this, although it makes sense given that it is the GT. But check out this Civic. This is actually an awesome sticker that would have been great for the Hood Dawn. 0 to 60 eventually. I love it. I wonder if this is actually super fast. That'd be hilarious. Well guys, I have just finished up reviewing the Ford GT and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. Well, the video will drop later in the week of my driving experience in the car, going over every nut and bolt, the history of the GT40 and what makes this car so special. Is it actually worth $500,000 and how it stacks up to cars like the 720S and the 675 LT? I wanted to go over 5 insane features of the Ford GT in detail because this thing packs some pretty cool stuff. The first feature has to do with the suspension. Let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat and I'll show you what I mean. Well, cars like the 488, 720S, and Lamborghini Huracan have a front lift system so that you can get up steep inclines and not worry about driving it on a daily basis in case the road gets kind of bumpy or you have to get into a gas station. The Ford GT has something very unique. Currently, we are in normal mode. Now, the GT has several different driving modes that I'll go over more of in the actual review, but when we put it into track, something special happens. While it takes 5 to 10 seconds to raise up a Huracan's front lift, watch how fast it does it in the GT. To first put it in its lowest ride height position, we're gonna have to put it in track mode. It drops the car by 2 inches in the front and the back violently and instantly. Now we're in track mode, we click OK. Boom! It happens instantly and the wing just popped up. Now what happens when we put the car back into normal mode? Well, it's gonna lift the vehicle up by 2 inches instantly. Check this out. Boom! That's actually violent. Remember what the Ford GT looked like before? Now look at the wheel gap. It is non-existent. This thing is absolutely slammed to the floor. The next insane feature of the Ford GT is just how raw it is and how little sound insulation they put in the car. I purposely am not using my external microphone to show you guys how bad the audio quality is and how loud it is in the cabin when you're driving the car. And it makes it so much more exciting than most supercars of today. You hear every single rock bouncing off of the tub. You hear this crazy blow-off noise. And honestly, that is what supercars are supposed to be. Now, there is something fantastic about having a supercar you can drive every single day. But there's something a lot more special about having a modern day supercar you can't drive every day. And that's why the Ford GT is truly special. The next insane feature has to do with the seat and the adjustment of the pedals as well as the steering wheel. You see, in order to allow for more room in the cabin, Ford decided to make the driver's seat stationary. That's right, the seat does not move forward and backwards. The only control on the seat at all is this little lever here that allows you to tilt the seat forward and back. So how does somebody who's 5'1" and somebody else who's 6'2" fit in the Ford GT? Well, the steering wheel and pedal box move. Now, it's not out of the ordinary for a steering wheel to have a telescopic movement. You simply pull this tab down here and the steering wheel can move forward and backward. But what about the pedals? The pedal box is very cool. Not only is it one massive piece of carbon fiber behind the pedals themselves, it actually moves. Check this out. There is a little tab to the right of the seat that when you pull it, it actually moves the pedal box forwards and backwards. It's spring loaded, so you don't have to do anything to get it to come back out. And then if you want it to go back in, you push the brake pedal. So that's right, you don't adjust the seat at all. Yeah, you can tilt it forwards and backwards like this, but the pedal box and the steering wheel are where you get the height adjustment for the car. Pretty cool. The LaFerrari has a similar feature, and I really dig it. The next insane feature of the Ford GT has to do with its rear wing. Now, not only is the rear wing active, let's say you're hard on the brakes, it will deploy vertically to slow the car down. It pops up so quickly in track mode and goes back down so violently that the Ford GT will only deploy and deploy the wing when the car is moving. Now, why does the car have to be moving? Well, if somebody was checking out your Ford GT and decided to put their fingers right here, if the wing were to slam downwards, it would cut their fingers off. Watch how cool it is when the car goes into track mode and that wing pops up. Now imagine it in reverse and rest in peace to your fingers. If you guys are enjoying the video so far and are not yet a part of the Vehicle Virgins family, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. We've got an epic cinematic review coming up of the Ford GT, along with some really fast cars. That moves us to our final insane feature of the Ford GT, which has to do with the vehicle's design. When Ford designed the Ford GT, their #1 priority was aerodynamic efficiency. And that is very apparent when you look dead on at the GT. The passenger cell is actually rather small and it tapers in a teardrop form, a shape with a very low coefficient of drag. But the coolest element of the GT's design has to be the flying buttresses. Check this out. Let's take a look at the GT from the rear. Look at that, all the way through. Not only does this look cool, it's actually a bit of an engineering marvel. All in all, with the front splitter, the rear wing, and the buttresses, we have 400 pounds of downforce at 150 miles an hour. What's truly staggering is that with the lack of bodywork in that gap, the fact that they were actually able to, 1, put a radiator here, and 2, actually have decent suspension geometry for the rear wheels in an effective manner. And clearly, they have done so exceptionally well. Well, there you guys have it, 5 insane features of the Ford GT. Let's head back to the shop. So before I end the vlog, I want to do a quick little walkthrough of Hennessey's shop. I think what's impressed me the most is the scale of it. Every week they have between 40 and 60 cars that they're working on, and 10 to 15 of them are fully completed and out of the door. Check out how many Raptors they've got. The Hennessey Velociraptor package is incredibly popular, boosts the Raptor to 600 horsepower. So check out how cool this is. I reviewed the fully completed 6x6, but in this form, you can actually see it without the truck bed and look at some of the internal components and the custom fabrication. This entire chassis is custom fabricated here at Hennessey. We've got the OEM Raptor shocks, although they've been modified slightly. 2 differentials that connect to each other, so this is a fully functional 6x6. All 6 wheels do drive the car. None of them are just there for show rolling along. That is so freaking cool. They've also got a 1,000 horsepower Demon build that's running something like a 9.1 in the quarter mile. The amount of cars in here is just staggering. Well, there you guys have it. If you enjoyed the video, leave a big thumbs up. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. I look forward to seeing you next video.